Welcome back to Get Home Safe Today. I'm Keon, and I'm here with Mark. And Mark, tell me why were you playing the guitar a second ago? What kind of were you doing?
I'm taking a break from watching all these videos on all of these violent acts that have been taking place around the country, and I've been watching it because at Get Home Safely, we're all about getting people home, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are not going to be going home after these events, and it's sad and it's tragic. I just think of the families and the impact, because it's a forever impact, right? You've lost your dad or your mom and you know, a wife, a husband, and it's just awful.
And so during this trying time, how do we keep our peace of mind and not worry about being so paranoid? You know, we talked about paranoid before, but so much being more aware. How do we keep that peace of mind?
Yeah, so and peace of mind is the way I like to put it, because we try to stay away from paranoia on our channel, because paranoia is a state that we never want to be in, and really excessive fear is what we really feel as paranoia. So you know, fear is a natural thing to have. We can't get rid of it. I've got it. I've been doing this stuff for years, and I still get fearful in situations. But we want to have some training, something to do, something in our back pocket, that if we found ourselves in one of these situations, you know, maybe we are at church and a shooting starts to happen, or maybe it's not a shooting, it's some other physical act that's taking place. Maybe it's a knife, you know, whatever. We need to know what we would do in that situation, have some sense of what we do, and just put it into our heads, put it in the back. You don't have to think about it every day. You don't have to dwell on it all the time. But you do want to make it something that would be automatic for you to do. So you do have to spend some time on it to make it automatic.
And that's kind of leads into like people who say, oh, it can never happen here. Like, this is a small town. This will never happen in this church. But like you said, having that in your mind, because what you said it best. What was it like? Like what? Like lightning? You know, like it's not going to strike everybody.
Yeah. So the whole "it will never happen here" is an interesting thing to get said. And the fact is that for all the years I've been doing this, one thing you can be sure of is that all the people who have been affected over the years in events like this, none of them ever thought it would happen there. And there they are. And it's just like lightning, because your chances of being struck by lightning are about 1 in a billion, and yet about 40 people a year in our country are struck by lightning. So those people are 1 in a billion.
Yeah.
All right. So because it's 1 in a billion, should we ignore lightning? I don't think anybody out there would.
No.
I think you know that you should not shelter under a tree if it's lightning out, and that what we need to do is to get indoors. And we know if we're at a swimming pool during the summer, as soon as they hear thunder, even within a certain distance of the pool, they're going to get everybody out of that water, right?
Absolutely.
And we're going to get to our safe spot. So nobody seems to have a problem with that, understanding that. But when we start talking about safety at our churches, or at our workplace, or at a shopping center, or any of these sorts of things, all of a sudden people, they don't want to think about it. You know, we've got to kind of rework that in ourselves to know that anything can happen anywhere. And one thing that does happen, you know, as you get older, me, not you, but you know, as I've gotten older, the more you really come to realize that things really do happen just at any time. I mean, you can be just walking along, and the next thing you know, whatever, it's a slip and fall. We cover that and what to do about something like that. You know, the chances of you having a slip and fall, you know, possibly having an incident with your car, you know, these things, those are definitely lower or greater chance that it would happen is what I'm trying to say. You know, those are more likely to happen to you. And chances are you're already more prepared for that you already kind of know what you would do in a situation if it was in your car, something like that. So we definitely need to prepare. We don't need to obsess about it. Don't be staying up all night. Don't be worrying about it. Don't have sweat pouring down your face. Just put in your mind a series of things that you might do if a situation wants to show up. You know, that will be there for you if you ever need it.
And so when we're dealing with stuff like being prepared and having that peace of mind, Can you give us some examples if you're in a situation like, let's say you're in a store and somebody comes with some kind of weapon, you feel as though, oh no, I'm stuck. But, are there other things around, you can use as a weapon or other things you can do? What are some examples you would give if you're in a big box store and that happened to you?
Yeah, well, first of all, what you said is exactly what you need to have in your mind. The exact things that we should use or could use, because we don't want to say should, it's really more of could, because we don't know in our environments what will be available. But what Keon just said is the most important thing, is that we're thinking. That was the most important thing that Keon said, because a lot of times when we find ourselves in a situation that's like this, and it doesn't have to be the knife and the gun, it can be a lot of other things that could potentially happen, okay, in any situation, is we've got to try and remain calm. And if we have had some preparedness in our own minds about what we would do if something like this happened, then we're going to be able to respond rather than just sort of sit there in the moment and try to think it through. And if it is a situation where there is a weapon involved, okay, then you don't have much time to work with.
Yeah.
So, whether it's a gun or a knife, run away.
Yeah.
Run away is a good thing. Running for cover, getting behind an aisle, getting out of sight. Maybe there are things within the store or wherever you are that could be an improvised weapon, bottles, cans, things of this nature. If you're a handful and other people will probably be coming in the store, if it's a convenience store situation like the one that you're using, people do tend to be coming in on a regular basis, and pretty soon it's going to be uncomfortable for that person that was trying to do that.
Gotcha.
So, for example, let's just stay with that for a second. I'll talk about myself. So one night I walked into a convenience store. As soon as I walked in, I noticed one thing. There was nobody in the store. Not one customer and nobody behind the counter. And as soon as I saw that, I turned right around and went back out that door I came in. Okay? Now, some people might be saying, well, you're just overreacting. I said, really? I would say to you, really? Am I? You walk into a convenience store and there's nobody in sight? So, okay, there's no customers. You say, well, it could be that there's no customers in that store. And you're correct about that. There could be no customers in that store. But maybe what's happening is there is no customer in the store at the time, but there is a robber in there who has taken the cashier to the office, usually where the safe is kept, in a convenience store. And that's what's going on. And that's what I've just walked in on. I don't know that. I just know there's nobody there, and I just don't think that makes sense. So I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to go outside.
And so that's a great, I think that's a great example. We're talking about that peace of mind, that preparedness. You need something from the store, but just because something was off, you're like, you know what, I can get something another day.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big thing, is that people need, wow, Get Home Safe Today is here. We're not here so much to put fear in your hearts or to push a news story or to try to get views. We're here because we want you to have that mindset. When I walk in the store, something ain't right, I'm going to trust my gut, not just go along with my day.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, don't be so absorbed in what you're doing that you lose your situational awareness.
Like in one of our videos we talked about.
That's right.
And so I think that's a great place to leave off on. Leave some hope, some words of encouragement. Maybe you can leave off with our audience. Like,
yeah,
what can they look for? Like, what can they look forward to after times like this? What do they need to be mindful of? Not some doom and gloom.
Everybody's different of how they view what's been going on. I'm sure you could easily find people right now, lots of people, who haven't the faintest idea that any of these events have taken place. As much news time as they've gotten, or as much as they've been passed around on social media and the rest of it, there's still a good chance that there's a lot of people out there that have no idea all this has happened, because they're just focused in on something else.
Gotcha.
Or they just don't like bad news, which I don't like bad news. If it wasn't my job, I probably wouldn't be focusing on it as much as I do. So don't be thinking about it all the time. Don't be obsessed. Don't let it get you down. I mean, some of you out there, if you've been in a car accident, you may have been a little hesitant to get back in your car after having an accident.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, I've been there. I've been in a bad wreck, and I got hurt pretty bad. And I remember the first time I got back in a car, and it was a little moment of pause, to get back out there. I'll say that, getting back on the horse, right?
Yeah.
So to speak. So, yeah, just don't overplay it on yourself. But the more you're prepared, the better you're going to feel overall. The less stress you're going to have.
So that's our kind of our motto: preparedness and that peace of mind really can get you through these hard times. And so I think that was great. Thank you for playing the guitar. Thank you for everything. And if you like the message, you like what we're trying to push out, we have other videos you can look at to kind of give you that preparedness. Please feel free to comment on anything, any questions, concerns, or just thoughts, or prayers even for the people that are going through what they're going through. Yeah. And, we are here. We're trying to keep you that peace of mind. And y'all have a great day. Thank you.